आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत है इस प्रोग्राम के लिए। सबके सुनो प्रोग्राम बहुत पहले हम लोगों ने कॉन्सेप्चुलाइज किया था that to allow the members to speak their views on a particular subject, but unfortunately there have been not many large number of takers. But still we thought that we'll continue with this because at least it will allow the people, those who are interested, they can speak their thoughts. That's why we are continuing this particular series we can talk about. आज हमारे आर के मोदी साहब के घर में इंटरनेट नहीं है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है, अभी उनका फोन आया था। तो हमारे पहले स्पीकर हैं उज्ज्वल राय साहब। मैं उनसे अनुरोध करता हूं कि वो आए और अपना वक्तव्य शुरू करें। उज्ज्वल राय जी, प्लीज कम।
Okay. Good evening, sir, and good evening to all MRL members, my friends. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, audible, please.
Okay. Today I will start with again a story. Actually, then I will tell the background. So, in one of the housing societies, some elderly lady was alone in the house, and suddenly the doorbell rang. तो उनको समझ में आया कोई आया है, तो he then answered the call and then opened the door, and he found some guest person is there, some elderly person is there standing outside, and he was in very worried condition. That it looks like he is asking for some help. ऐसा लगा उनको. So then he asked, what do you want? He said, देखिए आपका सामने वाला जो नेबर है, वो नेबर मेरा भाई लगता है, उनका भाई, मैं मेरा भाई हूँ, है वो, and I was supposed to meet him today and be with them for some time before I leave for a flight. But unfortunately, the door is locked and I am not able to contact him. So these two families were very friendly to each other. So this lady thought ki why not to give a help to that person? Why not help that person in this condition? And he is coming from a distant place to Bombay. And he said ki okay, then what do you want to do? He said ki I want to, I will go out and then come. Then just can you just give them a message ki I am here. So he said, no. Why do you worry? It is he is our friend. That family is our friendly family friend, and you can comfortably sit here till the time he comes. And he was such a mood, he did not do anything else. She took him inside and gave him a seat, comfort and glass of water, and started chatting with him. And slowly, that person becomes friendly, more and more friendly, and lot of personal messages, whether personal information also he was collecting. What are you doing? How is it? Who is your husband? And how many children you have? A lot of this common talk. And then after some time, she went back to have a cup of tea. And then when he comes back, then that person was changed. Actually, he was holding some weapon with him, one knife or something. And by that time, one more person was there along with him in the downstairs, it looks like. And that person, ultimately, that lady was looted with all those valuables inside the house. And fortunately, she did not get any other injury or anything. He could not do anything. She just had surrendered, and whatever was there, he could give, and they just went away. So this is one incident, and this type of incidents, though rare, it is happening, and this came recently in news also. So my topic is today, I wanted to share some alarming or some safety this thing. concerns regarding our stay, especially for the elderly people. So now what went wrong in this case is when that person was asking for help, we should verify first what is actually what is happened or not, because this person was not at all a acquaintance of that family. So you should have at least tried to ring. He said I am not able to catch him. Does not mean he is telling correct. So he did not ring. She did not ring to verify. And then she could have waited. She could have asked to wait outside. Okay, I will try to get in touch with the person you are looking for. But he took him inside and he shared a lot of information also. And when he came to know that no person is there and he was looted back. She was actually looted and all those valuables she had to hand over possibly. So this type of situations are happening. So here the concern is we should not, we should first of all, we should be able to know our neighbor also. Many times I have seen some housing societies are there where we are not able to, we do not know the neighbors also. So keeping in good friendly relationship with neighbor is also one of the point where they can also help you and you can definitely share with them, and in case of emergency also they also help. And then when something is there, when some person is coming at the door, you should first verify and then let him in. And once you are letting him in, letting the person in, you should be very alert. He is once he told he is a friend of your friend, doesn't mean he is your friend. You have to verify that. That is what is happening. Similarly, one more, I will tell you something in quickly. Some person suddenly rang an elderly woman saying your son is in trouble and he is hospitalized and he is not able to speak and he is not able to do anything. So he wants some money. So hurriedly, there was no, he transferred the money and he was rushing to our hospital. This has also happened. So at that time, we did not have that time or the courage or the intelligence to check whether really it is that. First, I should call my son or my whoever he is referring to without that. So this was what I wanted to share, and we should be very careful about our situations that's happening outside. Thank you.
Thank you, Ujjwal Raji. I think you saw a very important thing of personal safety issues. And it's very, very important, particularly for seniors like us. And particularly for those who are staying alone, lonely, that anything can happen. So you must check the credentials, antecedents. I mean, say, this is every day happening today. We're getting phone calls, we're getting several types of things actually. So we should try to ensure that we are safe to the extent possible, particularly those who are staying alone. That's a very, very important issue. We reminded all about the safety issues of the elderly and the concerns. It was the one incident, but there are several such incidents. But that's a very, very good topic, very, very good idea. Thanks a lot, Ujjwal Rai.
Yes.
May I request our second speaker of the day, Mr. Ramani Iyer, to please come forward and share his thoughts.
Thank you, sir. Dear friends, good evening. Today, I wish to share with you some thoughts on the month of February, which is special in our calendar. It has got lesser number of days than other months. A person employed on a fixed monthly wage will get the full remuneration by working for lesser number of days than in other months. Many eminent persons like Shivaji Maharaj, Bhagwan Sri Ramakrishna, Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, Jayalalitha, magician P.C. Sarkar, a Marathi poet Kusmagraj were all born in the month of February. We also know that the Indian scientist C.V. Raman announced his theory on the scattering of light on February 28th, which gave him the Nobel Prize, and this day is designated as the National Science Day. But today is 29th February, which is very special in the month of February, occurring only once in 4 years. The scientific reasons for adding an extra day to the month are well known. There is a blog and MRL WhatsApp group today and some newspapers have also given the detailed explanation for this phenomenon. I am not going through them now. I will share with you some lesser known facts of this day. The chances of being born on February 29 is 1 in 1,461. And one estimate says that 0.1% of the world's population is born on 29th February. My greetings to the persons in our group who are born on 29th February. People born on 29th February are known as leaplings, leapers, or leapsters. They get to celebrate their birthdays on their exact birthday only once in 4 years, which means that persons have got fewer birthdays and mostly they are considered to be eternally youth by a factor of 4. There are about 5 million people worldwide who share the leap birthday out of the total 8 million people on the planet. We all know that the India's 6th Prime Minister, Sri Morarji Desai, was born on the leap day. The famous dancer Rukmini Devi Arundale, who set up the Kalakshetra in Chennai, was also born on this day. So also Prakash Nanjappa, the ace shooter who won several competitions in Asian and Commonwealth Games. Internationally, John Holland, who invented the modern submarine, was born on 29th February in the year 1804. The only verified example of a family producing 3 consecutive generations born on 29th February is in UK. Peter Anthony in Ireland, born 1940, his son Peter Eric in UK, born in 1964, and his granddaughter Bethany Wealth, UK, in 1996. All of them celebrate those birthdays infrequently, once in 4 years only. In Texas, United States, the town of Anthony has proclaimed itself as the leap year capital of the world and celebrates with a leap year festival every 4 years. They celebrate with an international leapling birthday club, and most of them from US leaplings go there to celebrate this festival. For all legal purposes, the leapers, like the age for driving license, voting rights, etc., the persons will be completing the age on 1st March. Leapers who retire from the employment at the age of 60 will retire on a leap day, but those who retire at the age of 55, 58, or 62 will retire on the 1st March in non-leap years. Many historical events have taken place during leap years. The Summer Olympics are held in the leap year. This year it is to take place in Paris, in France. The US presidential elections are held every 4 years in a leap year. The general elections in India is due this year, which is again a leap year. In India, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Indira Gandhi all died in leap years. The Titanic sank in the year 1912, which was a leap year. Benjamin Franklin discovered electricity in the year 1752, which was a leap year. C.V. Raman, as mentioned earlier, announced his light scattering theory in the year 1928, which again was a leap year. The leap year is considered auspicious in some countries and not so auspicious in some other countries. In Greece, couples often avoid getting married in a leap year, believing it brings bad luck. In Scotland, this day is considered auspicious for women to propose instead of the normal men proposing, and the men cannot turn down such proposals on this day. In Russia, some report superstitions linked to the leap year. They believe that the number of deaths suddenly rises and many people die in the particular year. I hope Ukraine is saved of these deaths this year. In Taiwan, married daughters are expected to visit their parents' home during leap years with noodles for their parents, as the noodle dish is believed to convey wishes of good health and fortune for the aging parents. This soup is served to the parents throughout the month of February, particularly on 29th February. In France, a special newspaper edition Special newspaper editions are published by several newspapers on February 29 with huge advertisements for promoting sale of commodities. I would like to narrate a real-life anecdote from the life of Christopher Columbus, who discovered America, for whom February 29 in the leap year 1504 turned out to be very lucky, and he and his crew, who were otherwise facing certain death due to starvation. In his fourth exploring voyage, Christopher Columbus, along with his sailors, had been marooned for several months on a small island in Jamaica. Though the island natives and the chieftains had initially offered food and provisions to Columbus and his crew, after a few months, the natives got annoyed by the boorish behavior of the sailors of Columbus, and they completely stopped giving them food and to Columbus and his team. Facing starvation, Columbus came up with an inspired idea. Consulting a shipboard almanac, because those days the ships who go on long voyages carried almanacs for several years, through which they fixed their locations and also identified their directions. So consulting a shipboard almanac and finding that a lunar eclipse was due very shortly, he called together the native chiefs and announced to them that God would punish them if they did not supply if they did not supply crew to the guests who were in their island. And as an omen of God's intent to punish them, there would be a sign in the sky. God would darken the moon by hiding it. This was a trick he played on them. Right on cue, the lunar eclipse started on the night of February 29 in the year 1504. Columbus dramatically disappeared into his cabin because the natives came and begged him to forgive them. They will supply the food. Please bring the moon out of the shadow. So Columbus went into his cabin in the ship and then appeared to pray for about 40 or 45 minutes, then came out and then said, God will agree to remove the moon from the shadow only if the islanders agree to supply everything that was needed by the sailors and his crew. So at the end of the eclipse, the moon started coming out of the shadow, and the natives really thought that God has forgiven them. So they immediately supplied all the food and items that were required for them. Now, so this is exactly 29th February turned very lucky for them, because with continued starvation, they were facing certain death. Before ending my talk, I would like to leave a simple puzzle to be tackled by all my listeners. Please listen carefully. Today is 29th February 2024 and is a Thursday. After today, in which year will February 29 be a Thursday again? I'll repeat. Today is 29th February 2024 and is a Thursday. After today, in which year will February 29 be again a Thursday? Thank you very much.
Which year? When I do not, nobody knows.
Sir, this is one way who, after you work out, you can, people can post it in the WhatsApp group, then I will finally give the solution after a day or two.
2052.
Yeah, quite correct. Absolutely correct. Yeah. So this, it doesn't take more than 2 seconds. I mean, 2 or 3 minutes. But those who want to go the traditional way can work out. It will be after 28 years. The previous Thursday on 29th February was in 1996. Now, if you look at the logic, it is simple. But if you want to go from the fundamental principle, write down the days, dates, everything, even then you will get that. Every 4 years is the leap year, leap day. And every 7 days is the same day repeating. So 7 into 4 is 28. So 28 years is correct. Thank you, Mr. Mahadevan.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we got the answer.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Yes.
I think all of us must compliment and congratulate Mr. Ramania to have done extensive research. I don't know where did he get the data from. Extensive research on the month of February and particularly in the leap year. But I think it was a scary thing to say that, people who are lipsters, they celebrate their birthday only once in 4 years. I don't know what actually they do. It will be interesting thing to see whether they celebrate on the 28th of February or whether they celebrate on 1st of March.
Sir, it depends on the country. In fact, there is a legal also. There are contracts
in India,
which are meant for years. No, all over the world, there is no universal pattern. See, even in UK, Wales follows a pattern and Scotland follows a different pattern. In all legal documents, when you say it is for 3 years, that 3 years, if in between there is a leap year, that it is considered as that day is included. But on criminal sentences, if it says it is a punishment for 300 days, then if in between there is a leap day, that is eliminated, that is avoided. The pattern is not universal. That is the problem. It varies from place to place.
Except probably for the contract workers, because if you work for 28 days,
contract also, if you had, for some of the contract, if you had seen at the bottom line, there is a saying, for all practical purposes, a year will be taken as 365 days. There are court rulings also that a practical year will be 365 days. But as far as the birthday is concerned, there is a dispute because initially they were all celebrating on 1st of March. But then some of them objected. You see, I was born in February, why should I celebrate on March? So they started celebrating on 28th February. So it is left to the individual where they celebrate.
Anybody in our, it will be interesting to find out if anybody in our group MRL somebody is February 29. We'll do that research. Thank you very much, Mr. Mendya.
Thank you, sir.
May I request our next speaker, Bharat Bhushan ji, to please come forward. Bharat Bhushan ji, आइए.
नमस्कार सर, मेरी आवाज आ रही है क्या?
आ रही है.
तो एमआरएल के सभी साथियों को सादर प्रणाम और विशेष आभार डॉक्टर सैन गुप्ता सर का, जिन्होंने मुझे आज एक अवसर प्रदान किया कि मैं अपने मन की बात कह सकूं. साथियों, ये जो ग्रुप हमारा है, ये मैं पिछले काफी समय से अटेंड कर रहा हूं और मैं ये देख रहा हूं कि एक से एक नया विचार हमें सुनने को मिलते हैं, मनन करने को मिलते हैं, जो इस बात को सिद्ध करता है कि हमारी सोसाइटी में एक से एक नया हीरे भरे हुए हैं और डॉक्टर सैन गुप्ता सर उनको तराश कर एक विशेष मंच प्रदान करते हैं. मैं उनका बहुत आभारी हूँ. इस प्रोग्राम को देखकर मुझे लगता है कभी कभी कि मुझे भी कुछ बोलना चाहिए, लेकिन आज तक मैं हिम्मत नहीं कर पाया. हमेशा डरता रहा हूँ कि मैं बोलूँगा, नहीं बोल पाऊंगा, जो बोलना चाहता है उसे भूल ना जाऊं. हर तरह की मेरे आगे रहती थी. फिर एक बार मन में आया कि कोशिश करके देखता हूँ, हो सकता है कि मैं बिल्कुल गलत बोलूं. तो मैं आशा करता हूँ कि आप मुझे क्षमा करेंगे. मेरा पहला प्रयास है जो मैं आज आपके सामने रखना चाह रहा हूँ. तो मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 75 वर्ष से ज्यादा हो गए हैं. इस बीच में हमने चारों दिशाओं में आशातीत सफलता हासिल की है, बहुत तरक्की की है. कोई भी फील्ड दुनिया का ऐसा नहीं बचा जिसमें हमने अपनी घुसपैठ ना दिखाई हो, उपस्थिति ना दर्ज की हो. चाहे वो स्पेस का मामला हो, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी हो, एजुकेशन का मामला हो, यातायात का हो या कोई भी हो. इतनी सारी यातायात की व्यवस्था, शानदार सड़कें, ब्रिजेस, ये सब बना दिए गए हैं, सब कुछ कर दिया गया है. हमारा जीवन स्तर बढ़ रहा है. हमारे स्वास्थ्य में, एवरेज आयु में भी सुधार हो रहा है. सारी सुख सुविधाओं से हमको अपने ऊपर गर्व होना चाहिए. लेकिन पता नहीं क्यों मुझे लगता है कि ऊपर उड़ते उड़ते हम अपनी धरातल से दूर होते जा रहे हैं. कुछ बेसिक चीजें ऐसी हैं जहां से हम अछूते हो गए हैं और इसकी वजह से हम अशांत रहते हैं. मेरा मानना है कि हमारा जीवन, इंसान का जीवन एक सिक्के की तरह से है. वो इंसान चाहे उसका व्यक्तिगत जीवन हो, सामाजिक हो, राष्ट्रीय हो या देश के लिए हो, सिक्के के दो पहलू होते हैं. ऐसे ही हमारे जीवन के दो पहलू हैं और एक पहलू है अधिकार और दूसरा पहलू है कर्तव्य. इन दोनों में जब तक सामंजस्य बैठा रहता है, दोनों ही एक दूसरे के पूरक हैं लेकिन विपरीत स्वभाव के हैं, लेकिन इसके बावजूद दोनों साथ साथ रहना बहुत जरूरी है. अब मैं इस चीज पर अगर विचार करता हूँ तो हमारे प्राचीन संस्कृति के हिसाब से, साहित्य के हिसाब से 4 युग बताए गए हैं। सतयुग और त्रेता युग जो राजा हरिश्चंद्र और भगवान राम का माना जाता है, उसमें कर्तव्य भाव को प्रधानता दी गई। लेकिन द्वापर युग शुरू हुआ और उसके बाद कलयुग तक अधिकार हमारे प्रधान हो गए, कर्तव्य भाव कहीं पीछे हट गया है। और ये चीज अभी तक चली आ रही है। आज चारों तरफ ऐसी हालत हो गई है कि हम जगह जगह अधिकार के लिए संघर्ष कर रहे हैं, जगह जगह अधिकार की मांग कर रहे हैं, भागदौड़ कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अधिकार को पूरा करने के लिए हमारे कुछ कर्तव्य भी हैं, उसको हम भुला देते हैं। कहीं भी आप देख लीजिए। एक उदाहरण मैं आपको देता हूं कि आजादी की लड़ाई के दौरान लोकमान्य तिलक ने देश को एक नारा दिया था, आजादी हमारा जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार है। बहुत अच्छा नारा था, लोगों ने उसको फॉलो किया और उस पर चले भी थे। लेकिन मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि यदि लोकमान्य या उनके जैसे किसी नेता ने हमको ये भी बताया होता, प्रेरित किया होता कि आजादी हमारा अधिकार जरूर है, लेकिन उसको मेंटेन करना हमारा कर्तव्य है, हम ऐसा कोई काम ना करें कि उसकी गरिमा को प्रभावित करता हो। एक और उदाहरण है, अभी हाल ही में सरकार ने हम सबको इस बात के लिए अनुमति दी कि हम अपने अपने झंडे अपने घरों में, प्रतिष्ठानों में, सब जगह फहरा सकते हैं। ये अधिकार बहुत अच्छा था लोकतंत्र के लिए, लेकिन मुझे लगता है इस अधिकार को देने से पहले यदि हमें ये भी बताया जाता, ये प्रेरणा दी जाती कि उस झंडे की गरिमा का पालन करना हमारा कर्तव्य भी है। पहले हमें बताया जाता, अवेयरनेस डाली जाती, तब ये अधिकार दिया जाता, तो शायद नतीजा कुछ और होता। और जगह जगह सड़कों पर, नालियों में और कचरे के डब्बों में झंडे अभी भी पड़े हुए दिखते हैं, वो शायद ना होते। तो सर, अधिकार और कर्तव्य की लड़ाई बहुत लंबी लड़ाई है। अभी हम चारों तरफ अधिकार से ही गिरे हुए हैं, अधिकार की मांग कर रहे हैं और कर्तव्य की मांग से पीछे हट। अपना लोकतंत्र जो है, जिसको देखिए तो ये इसके 2 मूल स्तंभ हैं, एक है विधायिका और एक है न्यायपालिका। दोनों ही मेरे विचार से बहुत जर्जर होते जा रहे हैं। जो न्याय प्रणाली है हमारी, वो मैं समझता हूँ बहुत ही कमजोर होती जा रही है। लोगों को समय पर न्याय नहीं मिलता। कोई भी इसका रीजन हो सकता है। यही हाल विधायिका का है। हमारे जो कुछ प्रतिनिधि संसद में जाते हैं, वो अपने अधिकारों के प्रति आवाज तो उठाते हैं, लेकिन देश के प्रति उनका क्या कर्तव्य है उसको वो सेकेंडरी कर देते हैं। अब भी लोगों को तो प्रेरित करते हैं कि आप, उपदेश देते हैं कि आप ये करिए, महान बनिए, देश की सेवा कीजिए, देश प्रेम कीजिए, लेकिन अपने आप क्या करते हैं, अपने अंदर नहीं झांक के देखते। और ये राजनीति ही नहीं, हमारे आध्यात्मिक जीवन में ही ऐसा हो रहा है। हमें पर उपदेश कुशल बहुतेरे तो बहुत मिल जाते हैं, लेकिन अपने हमें योग्य मार्गदर्शन नहीं मिल पाता, और इसीलिए हम कर्तव्य के पीछे रह जाते हैं और अधिकार के लिए लड़ते रहते हैं। मेरा अपना विचार है व्यक्तिगत कि यदि हमें अपने देश में लोकतंत्र को कायम रखना है, देश की आज़ादी को बनाए रखना है, तो मेरा विश्वास है कि हमें एक बार जैसे देश की आज़ादी का आंदोलन शुरू किया था, वैसे ही देश के लिए अपने कर्तव्यों के प्रति जागरूकता का एक आंदोलन भी शुरू करना पड़ेगा। हमें यह देखना होगा कि हर अधिकार के साथ साथ कर्तव्य बहुत जरूरी है, और इसके लिए एक सामूहिक बदलाव की जरूरत है। और ये बदलाव कोई नहीं करेगा, सिर्फ मैं को बदलिए, सारा समाज अपने आप बदल जाएगा। एक पंक्ति मैंने पढ़ी थी, जी करता है बदल डालूं मैं समाज की व्यवस्था को, जी करता है बदल डालूं मैं समाज की व्यवस्था को, लेकिन किसको बदलूं, कैसे बदलूं, खुद ही समाज हूं मैं ही समाज हूं। यह हर एक आदमी अगर मैं को बदल दे तो हम बदल जाएंगे, हम बदल जाएंगे तो समाज बदल जाएगा, ये बात निश्चित है। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। यदि कोई त्रुटि रह गई हो तो मैं क्षमा याचना करता हूँ।
भारत भूषण जी, त्रुटि की तो बात ही नहीं है। आपने एक बहुत अच्छा मुद्दा उठाया, दैट राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज, दोनों के अंतर में एक सामंजस्य होना चाहिए। शायद जो अभी जो तराजू है, तराजू अगर आप देखेंगे, तराजू शायद आई मीन से अधिकार की तरफ झुक गया है, और जो कर्तव्य शायद ढीला पड़ रहा है कहीं पे। और आपने बहुत ही एक अच्छी बात लास्ट में बहुत अच्छी बात बोली, दैट ब्रिंग द चेंज व्हाट यू कैन, यू आर द चेंज मेकर। अगर आप अपने को बदल लेते हैं, देखिए ये स्वच्छ भारत का जो अभियान है, स्वच्छ भारत का अधिकार है, कर्तव्य का अभियान है, लेकिन वो लोग नाम देखने के लिए केवल स्वच्छ अभियान करते हैं। जिस हफ्ते में स्वच्छ भारत बनाना है उसी हफ्ते में स्वच्छ भारत बनाते हैं और उसके बाद हम लोग फिर वापस चले जाते हैं। तो ये कर्तव्य जो है, इसको अगर हम एक लाइफ में मिशन की तरह देखें, जो हमको जो करना है हमको वही करने का है, तो शायद सोसाइटी कंप्लीटली बदल जा सकती है। थैंक यू
सर। इसीलिए देश में राम राज्य की कल्पना की जाती है, कृष्ण राज्य की नहीं, क्योंकि वहाँ मर्यादा और कर्तव्य को प्राथमिकता दी गई थी।
ठीक है, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर,
थैंक यू
बहुत
सर।
अच्छा मुद्दा आपने उठाया, बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं, बहुत अच्छा बोला आप, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू
मैं
सर।
रिक्वेस्ट द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर चौधरी साहब, जेएल चौधरी साहब। हाँ जी।
Good evening, everybody. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, audible, please.
It is really a proud privilege to be a participant in an event which is being anchored by Dr. A.K. Sen Gupta. Let me say with all humility. See, a few days ago, I attended a conference which was organized by SIWS group of institutions in Vadala, and which was sponsored by CII. And the subject of the conference was campus to corporate. I asked a question to the panel that what is the theme behind this? What is the hidden theme behind this subject? The campus to corporate. The hidden theme behind this is earning some livelihood. That's all. Now, which campus and which corporate, it does not matter. What matters is earning the livelihood. Now, the campus of IITs, IIMs, and other prestigious institutions, they are all together different. But there are many other campuses of many universities, state universities, central universities, and the engineering colleges and management colleges, which have grown in a mushroom growth pattern alongside the road wherever you go. The students coming out from the management institutions, engineering institutions, they are really striving hard for earning the livelihood, that is the employment. The employment is a very critical economic factor of the country, which contributes to the economy, to the GDP, to the every sector of the segment of the economy. Now, there are two ways of earning the livelihood. What are the two ways? One is the wage employment, and another is self-employment. Now, wage employment is drying up. We hardly see some employment notices from Government of India, from public sectors, from any other government departments. There was a time when on every Saturday, there used to be a very big advertisement of Union Public Service Commission and a staff selection board. I had the privilege of being the member of the UPSC for 5 years when I was in service in KVIC. Now the wage sector, wage employment sector. In private sector, there's so much competition now, so much competition that for a job which is open in any company, which IT or any manufacturing company or service sector, social sector also, there is a huge competition. So very difficult to go there, find a job. Now the only segment left is the wage employment, the self-employment. Now, what is the self-employment? Self-employment is creating your own enterprise for developing the some manufacturing unit or services. Now, there are many issues for self-employment. Let us examine those issues one by one. See, what is the unemployment rate as on date? It is in between 8 to 9%. And my experience of the MSME sector is that the startups which have been opened during the last 5 to 7 years, roughly 35,000 people have come out of the job. They have left because the startups started with all vision, but somehow they lost the way. The reason is that the requisite finance is not available, or the expertise is not available, or the people are not very serious about the roadmap and the milestones they have established. Now, in my opinion, there are 5 E's which are very important for self-employment. One is ethics. Another is equity. Third is education. Fourth is energy. And then 5 I's are also important. One is integrity, the inertia, the intelligence, the information, and inquisitiveness. If a person who is going to set up a unit manufacturing or service is fully informed about this subject, then the unit is likely to grow very well. Now, there are many agencies in the country who work for this MSME sector. Now, first of all, let us understand what the MSME is. The MSME is, the micro means those units which have investment in plant and machinery less than 1 crore, but the turnover is less than 5 crore. Small means the investment in plant and machinery is less than 10 crore and turnover is less than 50 crores. And medium means the investment in plant and machinery less than 50 crores and turnover is less than 250 crores. The MSME sector is so important that it contributes roughly 29% to the GDP of the country. And total share to the manufacturing of the country is roughly 33%. And the employment is roughly 11 crores. And share to the export is roughly 50%. Now, which are the agencies who help the entrepreneurs to set up either micro or small or medium enterprise? There are many agencies. One is the KVIC, the Khadi and Village Industries Commission. Then there is State Khadi and Village Industries Board under each state government. Then there is a choir board. Then there is the Development Commissioner SSI. Then National Horticulture Board. They also support the MSME sector in the post-harvesting products. There is one institute in Guwahati, Indian Institute of Entrepreneurship. They are doing excellent work for entrepreneurship development. And then there are district industry centers in each district, which are under the control of the state government under this industry department. Now, in order to develop a MSME unit, you need finance and you need technology. You need the land. So you will have to draw a feasible, technically and economically feasible project. And this project is funded by the various banks. Which are those banks? All the public sector banks, private banks, then microfinancing institutions, and then cooperative banks. there are state financial corporations also, which do the financing through refinance and then SIDBI. I have the experience of sharing the platform with the ex-chairman of the State Bank of India, Shri O.P. Bhatt. And there are many schemes of the Government of India which are supported by many banks. And we had a consortium of banks consisting of many banks led by State Bank of India. And we set up all the units, but only limitation with the KVIC is that we have to work only in the rural area. And rural area means the area which has a panchayat. So any area, any village which has a panchayat comes under the definition of the rural area. Now, what should we do to promote the MSME and support the MSME? We should motivate and give some assistance to the education institutions to start the internship program for the students who come out from the engineering colleges, from the management colleges. You must have heard the name of the Lijjat Papad. Lijjat Papad is one of the institutions developed by KVIC, and I have no hesitation to say that I promoted this institution in a big way, and now they are wholly managed by women, and it's a multiple product institution which is giving employment to thousands of women through their papad units, through their detergent units, through their spices units, through other many edible products. Similarly, there are many areas of other sectors like agro and food industry, polymers and plastic industries, then engineering workshops, which are making many household products for building. And then we have healthcare products, skincare products, soaps and toiletries, edible oil. And another area of intervention is the vegetable fiber. We make many decorative items out of vegetable fiber by using the knitting technology. Then another area of intervention is the carpet and the woolen, the cotton, and the silk products. The only limitation is that only 3 types of entrepreneurs can come in this sector. One is the individual entrepreneurs, and second, those institutions which are registered under Society Registration Act 1860, and then we can also take self-help groups under this. And NABARD is a very important organization which is supporting the self-help groups for maturing. And then these self-help groups are working very nicely in many parts of the country, particularly by women, and their own financial support. Each member of the self-help group contributes something, and then it goes on growing the finance by making the profit. I had the privilege of working with the KVIC in a senior position, and I used to ask the person whenever any person comes to me that we want to set up a unit. My first question used to be, are you really serious about it? Seriousness means that are you not thinking to invest the credit you take from the bank for some other purpose? And that is the ethics. And business ethics plays a very important role in the success of any industry, any sector, any person, any society, and any country. My humble appeal to all of you and to Dr. A.K. Sen Gupta is that since he is very well connected with the educational institutions. The educational institutions should be motivated to take up the MSME sector in a big way for internship program of the engineering graduates and management graduates. I have another suggestion to make, to be recommended to anybody, that any public sector unit should also set up an ancillary estate for making their spare parts and those parts which are very much needed urgently. So an ancillary industrial estate should be set up by some public sector unit, public sector undertakings, so that the people get the employment, people get the support of the all people who matter the decision taking. One thing more I want to share, that
चौधरी साहब थोड़ा जल्दी, बहुत टाइम हो गया.
Yeah, I'll conclude. So RBI is very much taking care of this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. चौधरी साहब आपने बहुत अच्छी चीज बोली कि इंडिया में MSME सेक्टर का बहुत बड़ा रोल है और entrepreneurship is the future of India. I think these are the two critical things, and both the things are very, very well taken. If India is to grow, entrepreneurship has to grow, and MSME, which is contributing significantly to the Indian economy, that should be professionalized, and that should do better, much better. Thank you very much for your ideas. May I request the next speaker, Naveen Duggal ji. Naveen Duggal ji.
कैन यू म्यूट में था, गला खराब था, माफी चाहता हूँ. कैन यू हियर मी सर?
या
ओके. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर सेन गुप्ता, सारी टीम, संता मैम, आप सब ग्रेट एजुकेशनिस्ट हो. चाहे मैं कहता हूँ कई बार अंगूठा छाप, इसका मतलब नहीं कि मैं पढ़ा लिखा नहीं हूँ, बट मेरी सोच बोझ से जो मेरा लिमिटेशन था, तो मुझे एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक आपका जो ये सबकी सुनो में लगा कि शायद मैं सोचता हूँ मेरी वजह से कभी कभी मुझे बोलने की आदत नहीं थी, अभी बोलने की आदत जरा ज्यादा हो गई है, लेकिन मैं कम बोलूंगा आज. तो एक था कि ट्रांजिशन फ्रॉम स्कूल टू कॉलेज हर एजुकेशनिस्ट सही कर रहा है, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कास्ट, क्रीड, रिलीजन. हमारे हिंदुस्तान, हमारी दुनिया, वर्ल्ड वाइड, हम लोग हर जना चाहता है कि मेरे बच्चे बड़े हों, अच्छी स्टडीज करें, अच्छे कॉलेजेस यूनिवर्सिटी जाएं, इंडिया में लोकल पढ़ें, अब्रॉड जाएं. और फिर दूसरा होता है कि उस नेक्स्ट स्टेज होता है भाई जॉब्स का और वगैरह वगैरह, फिर होता है सेटलिंग इन लाइफ होता है. फिर तो फाइनल स्टेज व्हाट वी हैव कम नाउ विद माय रिटायर्ड लाइफ आई ऑब्जर्व, स्पेशली फॉर सीनियर सिटीजन, फ्रॉम नो जॉब टू होम जॉब. ये एक इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक है जिसके लिए मैं सबका आभारी हूँ, और स्पेशली ईच वन ऑफ यू एंड डॉक्टर सेन गुप्ता फॉर टेकिंग नॉट ओनली द इनिशिएटिव और द पैशन और द लीडरशिप, बट इसलिए कि उन्होंने ऑल राउंड irrespective of your thought और limitations, उन्होंने सबको चांस अपॉर्चुनिटी दी. उसका मैं आभारी हूँ. इस वजह से मैं कभी कभी फोटोग्राफ्स निकाल लेता हूँ, चाहे मेरे हाथ पैर ठीक हो या ना हो. लेकिन बेसिकली मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ how everybody asked me that how come you don't read, write, and how you are able to speak so well. So after the age of 45, I was given a task as a safety officer in Bahrain, जहाँ पे मुझे 5,000 लोगों को, पहले तो 500 लोगों को डील करना होता था, which was of different nationalities. लेकिन later realize किया कि what is my objective, what is my role play in a particular job. But after the job, side by side in the evening, we used to have these sports, entertainment, prayers for the small community groups of all the different countries or different specially states of India. तब हमने एक दूसरे को जान पहचान करने लगे और बोलने लगे. फिर हमें आपका जो ज्ञान ध्यान जो भी हमने अभी तक किया, जैसे कल भी बहुत अच्छा लेक्चर था, इट वाज अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल डिमॉन्स्ट्रेशन. बट द पॉइंट इज, क्या हमारा परफॉर्मेंस क्राइटेरिया जो डॉक्टर सेन गुप्ता जी ने, हालांकि वो ऐसे डायरेक्टली नहीं बताया, इनडायरेक्टली आप देखिए ऑन हाउ मेनी 5 fingers, 10 fingers you have, out of these 10 skills, how much skills we have really, really practically utilizing at the present moment. So सबसे बड़ा पहले था कि हमारा breath, me and my breath. Second was the energy level. Third was the food habits. Fourth was the routine habit. Fifth is my plan of the day. Sixth is my energy and my mood swing. तो ये जैसे जैसे एज होती है, हमें अलग अलग जगह पे we look for these knowledges and points. Let's not waste time. डॉक्टर साहब इधर है हमारे द ग्रैंड मास्टर, हमें काय की फिक्र, जब कुछ हो कंसल्ट कर लीजिए, यू डोंट हैव टू सी ऑल द टीवी वीडियो, उसमें वो टाइम बच जाएगा। तो ये कहना था कि जो मेडिटेशन आर प्लेस मिरेकल, मींस प्रेयर्स वट एवर यूर डूइंग, बट डू इट इन ए लिमिट। और हम लोग आजकल क्या, बिकॉज ऑफ गूगल एंड ऑल, वी आर ओवर एक्सपोज, अनवांटेडली अनवांटेड इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है, उसके लिए दिमाग और कंफ्यूजन में बढ़ जाता है। तो मेरा कहना है लर्न व्हेन टू कट। और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि मैं इतना टॉकेटिव होने के बाद भी आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल कि मैं सबसे कम, मेरा ख्याल मेरी कम्युनिकेशन में थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होगा, थोड़ा क्या बोलते हैं रफनेस आता है, बिकॉज आई वाज ए सेफ्टी ऑफिसर और आई वाज ए कमांडो, आई वाज ए फर्स्ट एडर, आई वाज ए रेस्क्यूअर एंड आई एम ए रिस्क असेसर। तो मुझे चिंता अपनी नहीं होती, दुनिया की होती है, लेकिन कई बार अपनी चिंता करते करते हम अपने आप को भूल जाते हैं। तो नॉट टू फॉरगेट योर रूटीन्स, मेडिसिन, रूटीन चेक्स विद द डॉक्टर, कम्युनिकेटिंग विद योर फ्रेंड। एटलीस्ट अगर एक दिन में आपने 2 लोगों से बात की, आपका मन हल्का रहेगा। तो सेल्फ लव जो कहते हैं, हमने सब जगह पढ़ते, चाहे गीता पढ़े, और अभी जो हमारे इंटरप्रेटर्स है, इतना अच्छा हमें अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलता है, ये जो हमने संस्कृत पढ़ी, लेकिन अभी इतनी लेट भी, इट्स नेवर टू लेट, लाइफ इज ए लर्निंग प्रोसेस। तो इस वजह से मैं ये कहता हूँ कि योर विशेस, जो संकल्प है, अगर हम छोटे छोटे स्टेप बाय स्टेप, बेबी स्टेप कोशिश करें, तो हम बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं, और अभी भी बहुत आनंद से। क्योंकि देखिए रिसोर्सेज, पोजीशन, ये सब हो गए, छोड़ के जाना है यहाँ पे, लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा है हमारा कर्म और हमारे अल्फाज। वर्ड्स हैव अ पावर ऑफ देयर ओन। सो रिमेंबर, लेट्स नॉट criticize or that, okay, it is a view, but don't waste time on other story, but आपकी story। अभी WhatsApp, Instagram, ये सब मुझे time waster लगते हैं, but still there is a good part that if you are blessing someone, you feel happy about it। but समझो कोई आपको return में जवाब नहीं देता, what we do, gradually we start deleting all the addresses, self thinking that ये perception है, अरे उसने ऐसा किया, जवाब नहीं दिया। so let's not think, let's be flexible, forgive them। It is the aging, it is the other situation, we are not aware। So always say all is well, all is well, all is well, otherwise already in this hot weather I am in hell। so why should I talk about hell? पंखा चला लो या पंखे की वो कर लो, ऐसा मतलब छोटे छोटे आइडियाज करें, एक दूसरे से कम्युनिकेट करें, जितने भी लेक्चर्स या जहाँ भी अटेंड कर सकते हैं, फिजिकली, मेंटली, जूम, किसी के द्वारा भी करिए। इफ नॉट, हैव द राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस ऑफ, राइट योर डेली प्रैक्टिस ऑफ योर, जैसे सर लिखते हैं आई विश टू लर्न। और जैसे आपने देखा, मैं सिटी हर टाइम सोटी लेके चलता, रोड क्रॉस करता हूँ, सिटी बजाता हूँ, भाई मुझे जाने दो। तो इससे क्या होता है, आई सीक अटेंशन ऑफ द अदर्स, टेक हेल्प ऑफ अदर्स, बट बी रीजनेबल। विद दैट आई एंड माय टॉक। जय हिंद, नमस्कार, थैंक्स ईच एंड एवरी वन ऑफ यू, यू आर लवली souls, and there's a lot of learning of giving, sharing, caring, and more than that with gratitude। जय हिंद, नमस्कार।
थैंक यू नवीन। आपने एक चीज बहुत अच्छा बोला, that do take baby steps। baby steps can change the life actually। so if you plan your life well, you plan your daily activities well, if you plan your thoughts well, and if you I mean say whatever you want to do, 1 2 3 4, if you plan it, probably you can achieve wonders, you can be happy in life, that's
Yes.
most important।
Thank you so much for your blessing, sir। Thank you for your motivation।
thank you। now we invite the last speaker of the day, कृष्णवेणी मैडम हमारी अपने। आइए कृष्णवेणी मैडम, आपको बहुत देर तक वेट करना पड़ा।
नहीं सर, it's my pleasure to hear these people। Anyway, thank you sir। My internet appears to be unstable, but I'll continue। And नमस्कार मेरे दोस्तों, आज मैं माइक्रोफोन के उस पार हूँ, so let me experience this also। Mostly क्या होता है, what we think about others, our opinion about others and opinion about ourselves are superficial and far from truth। To prove this point, I'm sharing a small story of Mahakavi Kalidasa, his conversation with a village woman। Once he was walking through the forest in a scorching sun, and because it was very hot, he was feeling very thirsty। He was looking for a pail of water at least, so he was very happy to see a woman with a pot of water। तो उनको लगा कि इनको पूछते हैं हम, तो he went to her and I said, माता जी मुझे बहुत प्यास लगी है, जरा थोड़ा सा पानी पीने दीजिए। That woman said, yes बेटा मैं दे दूंगी, लेकिन उससे पहले अपना परिचय दो। So he said, for water, why I should give? He was little arrogant and he said, मैं wanderer हूँ. So that lady said, you cannot be a wanderer. There are only two wanderers on this earth. One is sun, one is moon, who keeps moving. So, आपका सही परिचय दे दो. Then he said, I am your guest. He said, मेहमान भी नहीं हो सकते हो आप, क्योंकि दो ही मेहमान हो सकते हैं, एक धन और दूसरा यौवन. जब उनको चाहे आते हैं और वो चाहेंगे तभी चले जाते हैं, आप मेहमान नहीं हो सकते हो. He was getting a little irritated. He said, a village woman who doesn't know anything talking to a Sanskrit scholar. So he just said, मैं सहनशील हूँ. So she said, no, this is also the wrong answer. सहनशील तो दो ही है. एक धरती जो हमारी बोझ उठाती है और दूसरा है झाड़ जो पत्थर मारने पर भी फल देते हैं. तो आप कैसे सहनशील हो सकते हो? He had become really irritated by now and was very thirsty. So he lost his cool and he just snapped and said, मैं जिद्दी हूं. तो माता बोली, नहीं, तुम जिद्दी भी नहीं हो सकते हो. जिद्दी तो दो ही चीज है, एक नाखून और एक बाल. जितना काटे उतना बढ़ते रहते हैं. So be truthful who you are. Tell me your true identity. So he was wondering what to tell now. He yelled, I am a fool. She said, तुम मूर्ख भी नहीं हो सकते हो, क्योंकि मूर्ख तो दो ही है, एक राजा जो बिना योग्यता राज करता है और दूसरा उनके दरबारी जो सिर्फ खुशामद करते हैं, झूठे खुशामद, वो भी सिर्फ उनकी गुड बुक्स में रहने के लिए. तो एकदम अचंभित हो जाता है कि उसके बारे में एक विलेज वुमन, मैं इतना बड़ा स्कॉलर एंड जिसे पढ़ना भी शायद नहीं आता होगा, लिखना भी नहीं आता होगा, इतना बोल रही है मेरे लिए. तो he just folded his hand and fell at her feet. And then he said, मुझे क्षमा कर देना और प्लीज मुझे थोड़ा सा पानी दे देना. आपकी संवाद के साथ मुझे डिफरेंट एक अच्छा पर्सपेक्टिव मिला है कि आई एम ashamed of myself that I don't know myself, really speaking. तो पाव, उनकी पाव से वो ऊपर जब नजर उठा के देखते हैं कि उधर माँ सरस्वती खड़ी है. तो माँ सरस्वती ने बोला, कालिदासा, स्टैंड अप. While you are indeed a great scholar, but your ego is really spoiling your abilities and belittles all your achievements. You are surely educated, but a true mark of a true scholar is humility and not necessarily his knowledge only. So you should spread this to everybody. That's why I have come to remove your ego and pride. So she gave him water, blessed him, and then he realized we all also feel that there is God in each of us. But when ego comes, what we are doing is edging God out. Ego, E-G-O is edging God out. That's what great people, we find humility, which is absent sometimes with arrogance in some. So after hearing lot of महारथियों के बाद मेरा एक छोटा सा स्टोरी था, and let's all learn from this and spread humility amongst ourselves. Thank you, friends, and thank you, sir.
Thank you, केशवरी मैडम. बहुत अपने एक फेमस स्टोरी कालिदासा और माता सरस्वती का बताया, and that comes out with a beautiful ending that these are all temporary things, position, power,
yes,
whatever you talk about, your scholastic views, but humility is possibly the most important thing. If you really want to become a good human being, you want to be remembered as a good human being, not only today but even tomorrow, possibly goodness and goodness. People should should remember you as a good person rather than as a great scholar. It doesn't make so that's probably the most important thing.
Thank you.
With this, I think we come to this particular end of this particular episode of Sabki Suno. We had a wonderful time. We had a nice views, learned a lot of new things today, a lot of new things. People spoke at length today, much beyond the time limit, but that doesn't make any difference. I mean to say, because we had two speakers and therefore it has not taken much of a time, but we learned a lot today. So thanks a lot to all the speakers and thanks a lot to all the audience over here. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.